detective?
Sometimes I like to play rough.
Well, so do I. But a little charm can go a long way.
Sorry, I promise this will only take a moment of your time. You're a busy girl.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
And I promise I won't make up extra questions as an excuse to talk to you longer.
All right, Romeo, settle down. Ask away.
What kind of business do you do, Miss Scott?
The PR biz is a very careful, very delicate balance between what you know, what you say, and who you say it to. There was this one guy. Used to be major A-list, now he's major A-hole. Anyway, he crashed his car outside Savannah, stinking drunk and out of his mind on PCP. I mean, who does PCP anymore? He gets out, strips all his clothes off, and flags down a car full of college students. Well, by the time they got to Daytona Beach, they had 2 hours of him ranting about Canadians on their cell phone cameras. I had to pay them each $10,000 for the phones and footage. 40 grand. And on top of that, I had to pay out for damage to the car seats due to excessive sweating.
Enchanting story, Miss Scott.
Do you know Tom Newberry?
No.
He says he knows you. That's how we got your name.
A lot of people know me.
Do a lot of people call you?
Not the right people.
So if I look up your phone records and Tom Newberry called you, and you talked to him more than once, now, would I be crazy to think you're lying to me?
I'd say you were just jealous.
I'm not the jealous type, Miss Scott, and I don't like playing games. You knew him.
Fine. Yes, we did business. I paid him for insider information.
You paid Tom for what, exactly?
Passwords. I paid Tom for access to voicemail accounts.
So you could delete Rachel Trevino's voicemails?
Look, I really shouldn't say.
Did you want to keep her quiet? Miss Scott, were you involved in her murder?
No, I did delete Rachel's voicemails, yes, but I did it for someone else, on someone else's orders. Understand?
All right, I'm listening. Why don't you tell me a little more? Was someone else involved? Who asked you to delete the voicemails?
A client. I really can't tell you.
I'm gonna find out anyway. I'm actually pretty good at this detective thing.
Well, crap. I guess it's all over for me anyway. Here's the deal. I gave Rachel's password and voicemails to my usual buyer, Alexander Baron.
Alexander Baran, as in CEO of Wider Media? The Russian guy who owns like half the television stations in America?
The very same. Baron bought Rachel's voicemail access for me a few weeks ago, and then told me to delete them all.
Wider Media. Rachel wrote that in her day planner. It didn't click until now.
Does the name Rachel Trevino mean anything to you?
No, should it?
She was murdered last night. We found her body at the Parkview Regency.
Oh, poor girl. As if life isn't tough enough for housekeeping.
I didn't say anything about her being with housekeeping.
I must have read it in the paper.
Nothing's been released to the papers yet.
It must have been gossip. You know how these things get around, Detective.
Tom Newberry already told us you knew her.
Oh, that Rachel. Of course. My mistake. I can be such an airhead.
Miss Scott, why was Alexander Baran interested in Rachel Trevino? She's a maid. He's a Russian billionaire. I don't get it.
Rachel Trevino was not a hotel maid. She was an activist, a blogger, and she had uncovered some dirty, dirty secrets about Alexander Baran. He's a very bad boy detective.
What did she find out?
Baran has a problem keeping it in his pants, especially when it comes to housekeeping staff. We've had to cover up a few unsavory encounters. Rachel tried to set up a sting going undercover at the hotel, and I honestly don't know what happened after that, but I think she got in over her head.
Did Baran kill her?
And this is where my lawyer would advise me to keep my mouth shut.
Come on, Gwen.
Oh, now it's Gwen. I like that. Okay, look, all I'm gonna say is the Parkview Regency Hotel has a front desk, right? Ask them who stayed there on Saturday.
That was Cormac at the precinct. Alexander Baran was a guest at Parkview Regency the night Rachel was killed. He checked out earlier today, and he's on his way to MacArthur Airport. He's got a private jet and an appointment in London.
Well, he's gonna be late.
Mr. Baran! Mr. Baran! Detective Curtis, NYPD. We need to talk to you about the murder of a hotel maid over the weekend.
A maid? Are you serious? I'm leaving for London.
Look like about 1.5 inches to you, Ray?
Sure does.
Mr. Alexander Baran, you are under arrest for the murder of Rachel Trevino. You have the right to remain silent.
I don't know why we're wasting time here. I'm a Russian. I have diplomatic immunity.
We did a little research on you, Mr. Braun. Rachel's blog was a very interesting read. Maids, waitresses, executives at your own company? Is there any woman you wouldn't hit on? Your mom?
Miss Benson, I am a handsome, virile man. I radiate power. Women are attracted to it despite themselves.
Here's a clue. When a woman is attracted to you, she does not slap you with a sexual harassment lawsuit. You've had 12.
I'm a flirt. I get slapped with all sorts of things.
Did you know Rachel Trevino?
No.
We have DNA evidence that says you did.
What kind of evidence?
A rape kit.
You don't know what you're talking about. It was completely consensual.
So you do know her?
You cops think you have it all figured out. Guess what? We were lovers.
I'm not buying it. Sorry, Charlie. An earlier witness already told us Rachel didn't have a boyfriend. And you lied about knowing her just now. That's 2 strikes.
A jury might see it different. When I left the room, that girl was alive.
You didn't come forward when you heard about the murder.
I had no reason to. A maid is killed. How is this my business?
She was your girlfriend.
Ah, but you say she is not, detective.
Seems like you were trying to avoid this investigation.
No, I had every intention of cooperation. In fact, when you found me, I was on my way to see my lawyer.
Uh-huh. In your jet.
He's on vacation in Florida.
You said you were headed to London. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump to Moscow from there, and then you'd be out of our reach.
Your knowledge of geography is so American.
You had access to Rachel's voicemails, and you destroyed them to cover up your connection.
Not true. I never touched the voicemails.
Nice try. Gwen Scott told us she deleted the voicemails on your orders. You're guilty as sin, Baron.
If you say so.
Rachel knew all about you. She was gathering evidence about you, about unreported assaults.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I never even heard these voicemails you're so very concerned about.
You know, killing the witness to a crime gets you an automatic upgrade to Murder 1.
What crimes? What witness?
Rachel had evidence on you, Baron. She knew what you were up to.
She wasn't a witness to anything. Those voicemails were about an expose, a plan to blackmail me.
You're lying, and we can prove it. You just told us you never heard those voicemails, so there's no way you could know what they were about. You heard them, and you know it. You're looking better and better for this murder with every lie that comes out of your filthy mouth. You mentioned blackmail. Are you being blackmailed?
Why, yes. Why aren't you investigating the criminals behind this whole operation?
Who?
I'm very certain it's the Russian mob. I won't share my money with them, which they did not earn. So they want me embarrassed and disgraced. I wouldn't cough up a ruble for those thugs.
That's enough from you. Let's get back to the murder.
Women. They love power. They love machismo. But most of them, when they get their hands on a stallion, all they do is complain about the ride. Am I right?
Yeah.
And these bloggers, they're all feminists, right? Always complaining about guys, especially macho guys. Guys like you.
Sorry. My lawyers have advised me not to take bait so easily offered by a policeman.
Worth a shot. You've had 12 lawsuits?
Yes, what of it? They were all resolved.
I'm just impressed. I mean, you gotta be some kind of gentleman to cause that much noise.
I appreciate your sarcasm, but I'm not allowed to discuss the details of my settlements.
So let's say, maybe this girl, Rachel, maybe she liked it a little rough, and you obliged. Consenting adults, right?
Sure, completely consenting.
And the cane could have been involved.
Could have been.
Tell me how the cane fits into this scenario. Was it an accident?
I'm sure it must have been.
Did she ask you to use it?
Yes, she asked me to do it. It was her idea. She liked that kind of thing, I guess. Like I said, it was all consensual. This girl was kinky. She saw my cane. She wanted to try it. She was an adult.
So you admit it?
No. No.
The bruise mark on Rachel's neck matches your cane. You just said she asked you to choke her out.
No, I'm not admitting anything to you people.
Come on, Baran. An innocent girl is dead. You want to be macho? You want to be a man? Why don't you tell the truth for once?
You better wipe that smug smile off your face before you get to Rikers.
Miss Benson, I'm innocent of this offensive charge. My lawyers will have this all thrown out, and my country will protect me.
Really? We can place you at the murder scene. We can connect you to the victim and her voicemails. And your cane is a match for the murder weapon. That's a hell of a lot of evidence to throw out.
That's why I have a hell of a lot of lawyers. Don't worry, I'll be out in a few days. Then maybe I'll call you, baby.
Gosh, you are just not my type. Come on, Ray. Let's go get a bite. Mr. Baran can stew in his own ick for a while.